Okay, so who here has seen the movie The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio? Okay, well the main character in that movie was Howard Hughes, and Howard Hughes was one of the richest men in the world during his lifetime. He grew up in a wealthy family, but that's not how he got his wealth. He actually was a pioneer in movie making in Hollywood, aeronautics, and the Las Vegas Strip. But in his final years, he was a sad and lonely man living in recluse. What would you all do with your wealth if you were one of the richest people in the world? Could you change the world like Howard Hughes did? I don't think I could, but Howard grew up in a wealthy family and had a tough time living without his parents. SpartacuseDucation.co.uk's author, John Simpkin, wrote an article titled Howard Hughes that states that his father designed a drill that allowed oil companies to reach oil that was under tough rock that previously couldn't be reached, so his family had quite a bit of money. FamousTexans.com's article, also titled Howard Hughes, says that Howard was not the best student, and as a result his parents moved him from school to school. It wasn't because he was stupid, he just didn't like going to school, so he dropped out of high school. But his dad made a huge donation to Rice University, so they let him into college there without a high school diploma. And according to Jennifer Rosenberg's article on About.com titled Howard Hughes, Hughes learned more from tinkering with motors and mechanisms as opposed to going to school. For example, when his mom wouldn't let him get a motorcycle, he made an engine from scratch and put it on his bike. Further in Rosenberg's article titled Howard Hughes, she said that his mother passed away when he was 16 and his father passed away when he was 18. But his father left him 75% of his business, and the other 25% went to his relatives. And since Howard wasn't 21 yet, he couldn't take over the family business, so his uncle ran it until he turned 21. And when he did turn 21, he didn't see the use of going to college, so he dropped out of college as well. But this was the start of his business legacy. After that, he found an interest in Hollywood and movie making, so he used his father's company to financially support that. And his first couple movies were failures, but he eventually actually won an Academy Award. And then, according to the website Biography.com's 2013 article on Howard Hughes, titled Howard Hughes, he was a bit of a playboy. And when he was in Hollywood, he would have relationships with multiple famous actresses at the same time. And then he made a movie called Hell's Angels, which is about World War I pilots, and that really piqued an interest in aviation for him. So then, as he was fascinated with airplanes, he decided to invest in aeronautics, and he actually started an aeronautical business. And in Simpkin's article titled Howard Hughes, he states that when he was focused in aviation, he developed several advancements in the aviation field, like retractable landing gear. And then according to FamousTexans.com, he made many prototypes, and he would always be the test pilot of these planes. And he actually set a world record for the fastest speed in an airplane at 353 miles per hour, and he was the test pilot of it when he set the record. But as he became more successful in these industries, he became more famous, and then he actually started to hate the fame that came with it. So then he moved to Las Vegas, and he actually bought the top floor of the Desert Inn, which is, like I said, in Las Vegas, and he rarely came out of that suite. Biography.com's article on Howard says that when the hotel threatened to evict him, he just instead bought the entire hotel. So Rosenberg says that after he purchased the Desert Inn, he found an interest in Las Vegas, and he began buying other hotels and casinos. And he really transformed Las Vegas from a little desert town into what it is today. Simpkins states that Howard never left his room, and as a result, false accounts of his death began to surface. Biography.com says that he eventually got tired of Las Vegas after he had invested in it, and he chose to live abroad, and 6 years after that decision, he died. Howard Hughes was an orphan teenager with a lot of money, and he became interested in Hollywood, where he became successful, and that success led him to aviation, where he also became successful, but then he hated all of that, and he became reclusive, and then he died lonely and he had no family. Howard was one of the richest men during his lifetime, and he used that money to change the things that he wanted to change in the world. When Hughes died in 1975 at the age of 70 in a plane crash, it's kind of ironic. He had no formal education, but he had built a family business into a $2 billion empire. And that amazes me, considering that he started out with just his father's tool company.